Hi, it's Myrna. Thanks for joining me in my studio. The refresh didn't take nearly as long as I thought, so I'm back in operation. I took a couple pieces of furniture out, I moved some things around, there's a little bit more space in here. I have a permanent place for the tripod and the wall is white, which should help with photography, and I can get the tripod even further back. I'm still learning. I am actually refilming this because I filmed the whole thing facing that way with the window there, and I am invisible in the silhouette. I went fabric shopping. Fabricland had a one-day only 20% off your entire order sale. I took my list just to keep me on track. This is the fabric I bought for the top of the island. It really complements the carpet that I have here. I'll pop a picture of that in, and the island. And is a really bright color, but because so much of the studio is white, I think it's going to be fun. I bought that, and then I bought these two, I call them winter knits. One is black and one is gray. They're both a little bit flecked. Don't ask me what the fiber content is. I know when I bought it that it was all natural, but by the time I get home, I usually don't remember. I don't find it necessary to track all that information. Everything comes out of the car and into the hot water wash and then into the very hot dryer. And if it survives that, it gets folded and put in my stash. From there, I'm working with the feel of it. Do I like the way it feels? There are 3 meters of each, 60 inches wide, and that will be enough to make 3 or 4 t-shirts depending on the style. Basically, a staple to go into my stash. This is my basic T&T pattern. It is a very old new look pattern. And I will continue looking, but when I quickly went to my pattern stash, I could find my adapted pieces, but I couldn't find the original envelope. Before I talk about the fabric I'm going to sew with today, let me tell you about these 2 purchases that came in the mail. These are labels. They are from a company called Sweet Pine Hills that is in Alberta, Canada. And they are, I think they're 1 by 1.5 or 3/4 by 1.5, something like that. Gray ultra suede with my name in script. I got these to sew into bags, and then I decided I wasn't making them anymore. I'm not sure if I'll sew them into my clothes or if I'll just put them aside for now and see where creativity goes. The other thing that came are these soles for making your own sneakers. I bought them through Emmeline Bags, also in Alberta, Canada, and they are produced by a company called Sneaker Kit. I am probably last to this party because there are many YouTube videos about how to make your own quilted sneakers. At Christmas, I was looking for some colorful shoes, and I couldn't find what I wanted in the style, shape, whatever. I didn't think of making sneakers, but I'm happy to give it a try. It seems like a lot of fun. And maybe, who knows, I might start making shoes. So, shoe kit, labels, winter fabric for t-shirts, beautiful pink for the island, and this. This I know for sure is a cotton. It is very drapey. An absolutely beautiful weight. It is so gorgeous. I want more. And I'm trying to talk myself out of that. This is regular $60. It was 60% off. However, Fabricland tends to inflate their prices, so I don't think of it as the retail price until they've marked it down 50%. Their routine goes 30% off for new fabrics, and then it goes to 50%. And then depending how it's selling, it goes to 60 and possibly 70. I'm watching the 70% pile very carefully. However, at 60% off, this is still $24 a meter. I remember long ago when I thought $10 was expensive. I have to realize I'm older, things have changed. I bought this to redo the paisley blouse that was in the last video. I need to add at least 2 more inches of ease. Typically you would do that with 1/2 inch each side of the front, 1/2 inch each side of the back, and 1/2 inch each side of the sleeves. However, I have been noticing that I'm constantly adjusting my t-shirts, and I got to thinking about that. When I was studying pant fitting, I realized that if I was, say, a size 10, I'm not, but let's go with it. If I was a size 10, I would get a better fit if I sewed an 8 front to a 12 back. So I started to wonder, where exactly is my underarm point? On the t-shirt, it's here, but my actual underarm is here, and that is about 1 inch. I am going to add 1 inch to each side of the back and 1 inch to the back side of the sleeve, and sew that and see what I think. It's going to fit no matter what. It's more about, does it fit better and does it feel better? Do I stop adjusting the sleeve all the time? I'm also going to lengthen the sleeves, shorten the hem, and change the neckline. I think that pattern has the potential to be a T&T, and so I'm off to sew. My bangs and I only have to get along for another 24 hours, and then I have a haircut. Yes. I've been thinking about this return to fashion and how there are some things I remember and know for sure. And probably return to fashion sounds a little funny. I've sewn clothes intermittently all along, but I've never only sewn clothes and not sewn anything else like textile art or bags. I'm sewing far more clothes than I have in a long time, and relearning some of the things I already learned, which apparently we always have to do, and also learning new things. This is the second version of the blouse. It has the underarm point move forward. It looks, I think, it looks quite good on me. I'm not sure where I am in the screen here. Let me back up. I think it looks quite good. I don't like the way the cotton sticks out like this, but I think as it softened over time, it would take care of that. So this has 2 inches more ease, longer sleeves, shorter hemline, and the underarm point moved forward. When I got to thinking about that, this is an orange and the t-shirt is an apple, and I need to compare apples to apples. So I sewed a t-shirt that is my familiar pattern with the same amount of ease as the one I was wearing at the beginning of this video. The only change I made was to move the underarm point forward that inch. I'll change into that and show you how that turned out. Before I forget to mention it, I had said earlier that I thought this pattern, Simplicity 9469, had the potential to become a T&T. No, I don't think so. The only thing that varies on this pattern from one that I have already developed is the shapes of the neckline, which are a very easy change, the elastic waist, which I would use in limited quantities, one might be enough, and the sleeve. Not this sleeve, obviously. I really do like this sleeve, and I will look at incorporating that into other t-shirts, but in terms of needing to keep this and develop it further, I already have what I need. So that one will not be becoming a T&T. I don't feel like I need a lot of T&T patterns. I need a basic blouse, I need a basic t-shirt, I need a basic pair of pants, a simple skirt. The blouse and the t-shirt and the skirt all can go together into dresses, and from there it's the information I know that allows me to draft patterns I was watching a video earlier this week on So Carol, and Carol said she did not know, but like me, she is a person who really works with the big four patterns a lot. And the thought that they might go to PDF only makes me think more about using my T&Ts and drafting more of my own patterns. So who knows? It's all an adventure. This is Apple to Apple. The exact same t-shirt that I have on at the beginning. It's in a fabric with the same amount of ease. All I changed, literally, was the underarm. I took an inch off the front and added an inch to the back and moved it forward. Is it more comfortable? It feels that way when I put it on. I wore it to journal this morning and I didn't notice myself tugging the underarm down. It is a cotton knit, and that is one of the things that I have realized. I don't like cotton knits. I find them thick and sticky. So if I put my arms up, you know, I can end up with this fold here that isn't moving down, and so then I'm tugging this down. Never mind the fact that these bicycles are also a plaid. They need to go up and down and across, and I'm always like, are my bicycles in the right place? I remember walking into a lingerie shop once, and the woman looked at me and said, oh, you have one side that's smaller than the other. And I was like, I do? And of course now I know that, and it skews the bicycles. I'm not sure how often I will wear this for those reasons. It may end up going somewhere else. But the experiment was really worth it. Is it worth it enough to do it on every garment? I'm not sure. I have to think about that. I probably have to try it a couple more times. Anyway, that's today's experiments. I am at the end of knitting a sweater. I just need to tie in the ends, and I've been thinking about what to sew next to go with it. I am finding it difficult to sew pants right now. I've never been the same size in my whole life. I'm not one of those people who is wearing her clothes from high school. My lower half is a moving object, and right now I've noticed that I'm changing my diet, and so I'm not as bloated as much. I'm walking my dog, so I'm losing inches. And I don't know if I want to spend that much time on pants at the moment. But what I would like to do is get just a very basic, simple pattern, almost like a fitting shell, and fine-tune that. I watched an excellent video the other day. I think the channel was called Creative Bobbin, and she was talking only about the rise of pants, but some of the ways that she was adjusting the extension was different to what I've done in the past and looked very interesting. Anyway, I'm meandering off. I will sew the ends into my sweater. I will think about what to make to go with it, and possibly that will show up next week. Thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Take care.